So I'm just going to show you a few things quickly in Premiere Pro. I am asking you to put 3 screenshots of your video on your blog. So I'm just going to show you how to pull a screenshot in Premiere Pro itself. So you can just go to the frame that you want to grab a screenshot of. If you press these arrows, it'll bring you frame to frame. So that's like a good way to do it. If you find one that looks nice, you go over here to this camera icon. If you hover over it, it says export frame and you click on that. It brings up this dialog box. You can rename your file. So since I'm asking you for 3 frames, you might, put frame number 1 or whatever. And then the format is going to be JPEG. There's all these options for image formats. JPEG is the one that you want. And then the path, that's where it's going to spit this picture out into your computer. So you can change that if you go to browse. You can put it anywhere that you want. And then just click OK and it'll export that frame. And then I'm going to show you how to export into an appropriate file format from Premiere Pro. And so the export protocol that I want you to follow is pretty simple, but there's a bunch of options in Premiere, so I'm just going to go through it visually with you. If you click File, go down to Export, and go over to Media, it'll pop up this big dialog box. So just to start at the top here, the format that we want is H.264. This is an MP4 format. There's a bunch of others, but this is the one that we're going to use. It'll preserve your quality, but also make a file that's not too enormous so we can share it fairly easily. And then the preset dialog right here, that means the quality of the video. So we're going to use this match source high bitrate. That's just going to preserve the integrity of your video without reducing its quality. Again, there's a whole bunch of options in here for different platforms and resolutions and whatnot, but just click this first one, match source high bitrate. And then again, this output name, this is where you can change the title of your thing. So, if you want to put your title in here, and then also please put your first and last name as well. You can change this later, but it's easiest to just do it here. And then you can see that the H.264 format is going to leave you with the .mp4. So those are the same thing. They're just called different things in this format output language. And then down here, you want to make sure that both of these boxes are ticked. So, if your audio isn't ticked, just make sure that they both are, so you can, have a video with audio as well. This output is just going to show you the folder that it's going to put in and the details, the resolution, the encoding materials. You don't have to worry about that too much, but if you see something weird, if it's putting it in a weird spot, then you might need to change some of these settings. And then you go down here, there's a bunch of other settings you can change. In terms of the audio format settings, just leave them as is. This AAC is fine. If you go down here to channels, stereo is going to be what we're going to use. Mono just means that it'll come out the left or right side, and so sometimes in music they're mixing different left and right channels, but stereo just means the same sound comes out both speakers when you play the video. So stereo is good. Audio quality high. Bitrate settings 320 is good. And then this checkbox, use maximum render quality, that's good. That will preserve the quality of your video. And then none of these other ones need to be checked. And then the time interpolation, you're going to want to select frame sampling. It should be just automatically selected. And then it'll show you how big your file will come out. So the video I have in here is itty bitty, teeny tiny, but if your file is coming out massive, I would say more than 100 megabytes or so, you might need to make sure that this is checked to H.264 and not a different format. For example, AVI is a massive file format. So just before you export, because exporting does take a little while, make sure that the size isn't ridiculous. And then you're just going to click export, and mine's going quickly because it's like a 12-second clip, but yours might take a few minutes. And just wait for it to finish, and that should be good.